I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I am
California of the past.
My aunt and uncle came to live in Hayward. For them, it was a honeymoon. My name is Diane Landfield. This is the story of the time when my aunt and uncle, Short and Shirley, came to live in Hayward briefly during World War II. My uncle was stationed in Kodiak, Alaska, had been for 14 months with the Seabees. It was 1944, and he was given leave prior to going to report to Camp Parks, California, and from there to proceed overseas. He went to Des Moines, Iowa, and met with my aunt, and then they went to Oklahoma to visit his family. The young couple understandably wanted to spend as much time together as they could before he was sent overseas. So thanks to the family contributing their gas ration coupons, they were able to drive Route 66 over to Camp Parks. Camp Parks was located, it was a large Army base located where Santa Rita Prison and the city of Dublin are now. Unfortunately, when they got there, they discovered that there was no housing available. So someone told them to go to Hayward and try their luck there. But at Hayward, it was also difficult. There was very little housing available during the wartime. So they were lucky enough to meet one woman who suggested them if they had the car that they could drive south about a mile from Hayward, and she would call her friend, and the friend would see if they could work something out. So they got in their car and drove south on the main road, and it was springtime, and at that time it was mostly orchards, and they arrived at a bungalow that was surrounded by blossoms, and Mrs. Hamilton was waiting for them. She said, "Call me Hammy, everyone does." And she took them somewhat embarrassedly to the barn, at the side of which was an add-on, accompanied by her little dog, and showed them the laundry room, which was there was also a small bedroom, and she told them if they were willing to let her continue to do her laundry, she would be glad to rent them. And they readily agreed. And the small dog grew very attached to my uncle. He, every time he drove in from the base up the gravel driveway, the dog greeted him ecstatically, and even would jump into his lap as he got out of the car. So the time went by very quickly, and when he did get his orders to go overseas, they sold the car, and Mrs. Hamilton rented their apartment to a young couple who was also from the same base. And they later heard that the small dog never wanted to let that other young man get out of the car because Uncle Short was the one that he thought belonged with that car. My uncle was in service, went overseas to have service in Saipan, and from there to Okinawa, and returned safely from the war. And this year will be their 71st wedding anniversary, and as far as I can see, they're as much in love as they always were. I heard the story many times before I moved to Hayward in 1992, but since then we've talked about it even more and speculated about where it was that they stayed here. For them, it was a honeymoon that they never had. So thank you very much for letting me tell you their story.